Oh, okay. Uh, right.
Come on in. What are we hunting tonight? Why don't you just decloak and have a seat right over there? That's right, right over there. Why? Well, because this is Predator and Prey. Which are you? I'm Chris Hansen.
Yes, hello and welcome, you fucking aliens, to another episode of Predator and Prey, a HOTU podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Peter Keys, and I have with me, first up, fellow HOTU Clan member, Ray. How are you, P. Ray?
Good, Peter. You're gonna need a lozenge sooner or later.
And you know, we've got the lions and the tigers and the bears, but we also got the owl. Justin the owl. How are you, Justin?
That's right. Oh, glad to be back. Glad to be back. My cam is down. I've had technical issues, so I'm being represented by my true form in the picture there.
Justin is still alive. For those that have the video live feed, it's not like an Aliens where they flatline.
Yes.
Where Frost Apone is still with us.
Yes, I'm still with you.
They're gone. They're all gone. Get it together, Gorman. All right, I've cross-referenced, cross-pollinated properties.
That's okay. No, that's totally fine.
So we are here. We're going to have a short and sweet one here. We're slowly etching towards Predator versus Black Panther.
Yeah.
So Justin had the idea that we should next cover Rite of Passage, which is a Predator story set in Africa. And little did I know when I sat down to read this evening that I would only be sitting down to read for about a minute and 37 seconds.
Yes, it's a short and sweet little story.
Yes, Russell, he made a ritual of it, right? You got the blanket, you made yourself a tea, you got yourself a cozy chair, you sat down. 1 minute 37 seconds later, you'll finish.
It was funny. My wife and I, we were like, "Well, we both have stuff we need to read, so why don't we read together?" And then, like, it was over. I was like,
"Why are you playing?
Sorry, honey."
What about you, Ray? Had you read this one before?
No, I hadn't.
Okay, nice.
I hadn't, and this was it was an interesting one. We'll definitely get into it. Don't worry. Like Russell said, it's probably not going to last too long, but it was no, but it was interesting. Like, and putting it into context with where we've seen Predator evolve to now, and have him like on the plains of Africa in the old times. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, Justin, this was your first time as well?
This is my first time reading it too. Yeah, there's a lot of the stories in this omnibus that came from Dark Horse Comics Presents. and
Mhm.
or Dark Horse Comics and stuff like that. And this was one of them. This and a few others that follow it in the omnibus.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that the great Rick Leonardi did the artwork. I was like, oh my
Mm.
God, that's fantastic. Because I love his stuff, as you guys
Yeah.
know. And
Mhm.
I had no idea that he even had done a Predator story. So when I saw that in this omnibus, I thought, oh my God, that's fantastic. We've got to cover that.
Yeah.
But yeah, before Black Panther versus Predator, it's a great kind of mood setter
Yeah.
because we will be in Africa seeing a very different kind of Yautja very soon.
Mm.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Yes.
and also, I mean, it's not the lost city of El Dorado in this story by any means, or Wakanda, but yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it is a nice setting, Justin, I think, and
Mm.
it actually will contrast really well with, albeit a similar setting, with all the technology that
Oh yeah.
Black Panther has, and how that happened, like how that kind of informs the story coming
Right.
up, which we'll cover. What, late August? Is that the plan?
Yes, I think that's
Yeah.
coming out in the last week of the month,
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So it'll
believe.
probably
Yeah.
end up being September for us.
Yeah,
But
Oh,
probably. Yeah.
oh, is it what stuff? Oh, yeah, for us, of course. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, yeah. So we'll
So
get there. We'll get there.
should I just give like a, since it's so short, like just a brief kind of just synopsis of what happens here? Um I
Oh
mean
yeah,
there's
so let's do the creator credits though first. We've got
yes.
I've
Mm,
got it right here. We've got writer Ian Edgington, penciler, as I mentioned, Rick Leonardi, inker Dan Panosian, colorist Gregory Wright, editor Jerry Prosser, and the cover art, which is fantastic, was done by Dave
mm.
Dorman.
Ah, always good.
Mhm.
Dave Dorman for
Yeah.
me
Oh God.
is Dark Horse. That's what
Yes,
I kind of grew up with. So,
definitely. Yeah.
um, Panosian sounds familiar, Justin.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
he and Rick Leonardi worked together a fair amount,
Mm,
perhaps. Yeah, they were
yeah.
a good duo together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's yeah, and for those, I mean, this is gonna be heavily spoiled, so for those that want to savor the rite of passage and
Mm.
read it
Mhm.
for themselves, you might have to tune out now, but Russell's
Yeah.
now gonna go into a detailed 45-minute expose
Yes.
as
Yeah.
exposition,
Yes.
well,
Of each page. Yeah. Yeah.
if you would be so
Yeah.
kind.
So again, we have no dialogue, we have no names, we have no narration, we don't know when this is set.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
but we know that we're in Africa, and we have an African warrior who is reminiscing on his past, looking up at the stars, and we see that he's about to embark on a rite of passage, hence the title.
Mm.
And he's sent out to kill a lion, and he does. But when he returns home with his trophy, he finds that his village has been wiped out, with, of course, people skinned hanging from trees.
Mhm.
So he sets out on a another rite of passage, if you will, to enact some revenge because he finds tracks of the assailant, and he meets up with a predator, of course.
Yeah.
And they have a pretty big showdown here where they both get several blows in on the other one, kind of one upping each other. Eventually, the African warrior knocks the predator's helmet off and is able to decapitate him,
Mm. Mhm.
basically
That'll do
with
it.
the last vestige of his strength. When suddenly another predator shows up and does the classic,
Mm.
"I'm going to give you a trophy," or
Yeah.
actually, does yeah, and then he
What did
just
he
He
take?
shoots
leaves
off into the
he leaves
sky.
the blade. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's it.
That's
Mm,
it. Yeah. I think it's only
yeah.
like 15 or 16 page story. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it being a silent issue, obviously, yeah, you do get through it a lot quicker, but it allows you to linger onto the on the
Mm.
visuals on the artwork, so that's kind of good.
Mhm.
Um, I guess first was Justin. This was perfectly chosen by yourself, so I
Oh,
think we
thank
should
you.
lead off with you. Yeah, what did
Yeah.
you make first impressions and your thoughts on
I
this?
I loved this right away. I mean, I love the fact that it had no dialogue. I thought that was fantastic because how often do we see that? Especially with predator stories, we don't really see that very often. Those silent
Mm,
stories. It's great. It's a great way to tell the story. And yeah, I just thought that the pacing was great, showing him going off on his first real hunt by himself and his
mhm.
duel with the lion, which was excellent. And yeah, and then just the despair that you see in his face when he comes back and sees his village completely wiped out and obliterated. Um, and the determination in his eyes as he's hunting the tracks. It's great. There's a lot of little subtle artistic flourishes that are fantastic throughout this story that fill in the blanks where the dialogue is missing. The art actually fills in those gaps. It's great. And I
Yeah.
also love the use of color. I love the color in this story.
Mhm.
It's used very effectively throughout. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was surprised. I think my favorite part was at the very end when the warrior was it, he was fighting for his very life, like hacking and slashing away at the Yocha. And rather than this look of kind of maddened berserker rage that we would expect to see, it's a look of absolute fear and desperation.
Mm,
Like he's fighting for his very life, and you can see that in his face in the artwork.
yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
yeah,
love
well, it's he's facing something that, he's never seen before, and a lot of
that.
people never
Mhm.
seen before on planet Earth. So understandably, it's like, what the hell is this? What's going on? It's who knows, superstitions as well. You might
Mm.
see it as some sort of ghost or some
Right,
sort of
or some
demon.
demon or creature from yeah, you don't
Yeah,
know what's going on in his mind, what he's thinking about, what this thing could be, what it could mean to him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, like you, I really did enjoy. I enjoyed the in a really good way the simplicity of it, and I think
Mhm.
by having it a silent issue, and of course, we're looking into a an African tribe, that obviously doesn't speak English. You can do the
Right.
parentheses and all that and have it, but just keeping it simple,
Yeah.
and just having no dialogue, it just really kind of reiterates that this is like raw,
Mhm.
compared to the commandos and the Marines and all that who have all this tech and
Right.
stuff. And what I really love about it, and I saw a few. I reckon Prey has taken a few nods from here, potentially. This whole rite of passage thing. I can't remember the
Mm.
term for
Mhm.
it that they used in Prey, but it was that rite of passage that Naru ended up going on herself.
Yes.
But she faces the lion too, right? In the up in the tree.
Yeah, the
So
mountain lion,
the
yes.
mountain
Yeah,
lion,
yeah.
yeah.
You're right.
So that was pretty fun, I thought. And the other the other thing that I note as well, and this story reiterates it as well, because remember again in Prey, Tabe, how kick-ass he was against the predator. I
Yeah.
love how I love how the simple, like raw warrior, like someone from a tribe, or in this case, this guy as well in Africa, they
Mhm.
really give the predators a run for their money. Compared to the usual beat cop or whatever, say in Predator 2, that or the Jamaicans, the
Y
cartels with all the guns, they
yeah.
can't
Here,
really.
T.
Yeah, better keys as well. But none of them, all that flair, they can't really do much damage to the Predator. Whereas you see the likes of Tabe and this warrior here, going toe to toe against a Predator, I think is pretty cool. And I love how it's just the simple things. It kind of is a continuing thread throughout Predator, how the simple things really are the most effective against a predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
But
he hurled that simple spear, and
yeah,
that was enough to land into the cannon and completely destroy it and cause that explosion that essentially crippled the predator from then on
yeah.
out.
Mhm.
And just the defensive qualities of it, like how elusive he can be. He's not kind of weighed down with equipment and uniforms and stuff, and how he can actually dodge. He did get hit a little bit, but how he can dodge the dangerous and deadly weapons of the predator. So I thought that was really cool. How about yourself, Russell? What did you make of your 1 minute 37 seconds?
Well, that's what I always ask my wife. No, but I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that it was a silent issue. I mean, 2 pages in, I was like, okay, we're still no dialogue, no narration. I was like, are they pulling a Snake Eyes on us, like that classic GI Joe issue? And they were.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the art. At first, like when the Predator starts fighting the Warrior unmasked, I was like, this artist, why are they drawing the Predator's face like that? It looks so weird. And then because there's no words, you back it up and it's like, oh, he's messed up from the explosion.
Yeah.
Like that's why he looks so weird.
Right.
But this to me just like screams like 90s Dark Horse, like in a good way. Like
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
is. And I don't know if the same artist did this book. I'm having trouble remembering who the artist was, but there was a book called The Book of Thoth, which was about Conan's villain Thoth Amon, and it was written by Kurt Busiek, and its art is very similar. So I'm wondering if he did the art for that.
Oh, interesting. I haven't read that.
Well, it was also Dark Horse. Oh, it's really good. It is a very simple story, and it's kind of the same story that we've seen so many times with the Predator. We've seen this. We've seen this ending play out so many different ways. But overall, for the length and the fact that it was silent, I thought it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised by it for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think as Justin kind of was alluding to as well, you tend to linger on the art because you're not kind of distracted with anything else. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have a copy in front of me, but were there sound effects as well, or was that silent too? No, nothing.
No sound effects. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of gives a really, really, really weird, unique tone when you're reading it, particularly because of the scale of violence that you see. It's not like I can't remember the Snake Eyes issue, Russell, but it's not kind of covert and sneaking around and stuff. This is like full on face to face, toe to toe, hacking and slashing each other. Yet it's kind of all silent, so it makes for an interesting thing. I love the shield at the end with the Predator skull. This guy's got the limited edition one and only. His mates will be jealous of him. Like, where did you get that skull? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exclusive.
Yeah. But there were a couple other things I thought, like he gets hit in the back, doesn't he? Does he get hit in the back, or it just grazes him? Because there's that panel. I was a little bit confused though. It looked like he did get hit, but he would surely be dead, right? So
it's kind of weird the way that looks. It looks like it does hit him. But
because it's got smoke coming out of him, but but it must have just grazed him. I mean, I'm really searching for something to be critical on, but that's really okay. It's not too bad. I mean, you can kind of let that one go as well.
Right.
But no, it was good. The layouts were cool. Nothing dashing or innovative by any means, but the fluidity, like the eye, where you follow your eye with all the action, it worked really well. I mean, that was well and considered. But It was, as Russell said, it's we've seen this story before. It was done well, and it ends with him. So he
I
ends up
think,
with a bung eye, right? That's the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
lost an eye,
yeah,
And I like how
and
that's how they
and
open the story is with him as an adult with the scar.
yeah,
yeah,
Seeing the shooting star up in the sky and being reminded of this time in his life.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think, like you kind of insinuated, it is it's the story we've seen before, but the the fact that it's, the setting is different, obviously,
Mhm.
and the fact that it's silent, kind of, it's almost like the creative team knew, is like, okay, we're doing a very simple story, we're doing a
Mm.
story that is very similar to what we've seen before,
Mhm.
but I think if we do this and this, it'll be different enough that people will,
yeah,
enjoy it on its own merit. And I think Ray 100% hit it on the head when he said that Prey took from this. I can
mm,
totally see
Yeah.
that the connection between the African warrior and Naru, and even Tabe.
mm,
Um, I was thinking very similar thoughts as well, but the main difference is that Naru had to like outsmart the predator, whereas
Mhm.
the African warrior was actually able to kind of like beat him by the skin of his teeth, but he did beat him.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can kind of like putting it chronologically as well. So I don't know, Justin, if you have handy like when this came out. I can't remember when. It was in the 90s, right? Did you say?
This
Or
was, let's see, I'm gonna look at the
because as you say, Russell, there are a lot of similar stories, but if you put it into context, this is probably one of the earlier ones, right? You know, we're blessed with the movie of Prey and seeing the predator in different settings down the track, uh with the
It was
gun and all
92.
those other 92.
92,
Okay.
August and September of 92.
92.
Yeah,
Okay.
this was in
So
2 parts, actually. This was Dark Horse Comics number 1 and number 2 initially.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
you had the stuff like Big
I
Game,
wonder.
and you had like the Bloody Sands of Time, Justin, that we reviewed before as
Yes.
well. You had that, but this was maybe like, I mean, the with Enoch it's kind of similar because it's out in the open kind of thing, but this is the first like tribal, I think. Um,
Mhm.
a story with the predator. So, and you can see how in many ways it's kind of rough compared to what we get again going back
Yeah,
to Prey and with Naru.
Right.
Like you say, shit. So it was a lot more elaborate. A lot obviously, the movies you can flesh it out a bit more compared to 15 pages of a silent issue.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but you get kind of the bones of what they were starting to play with of the predator. Different times, but not only that, going against uh people that weren't Dutch or weren't Harrigan,
Mm.
that people
Mhm.
who were like more, as I said, like tribal and more raw. So
Right.
yeah,
hmm
they definitely improved upon this, like in later stories. But I can definitely see this as one of the first, forays into what if the predator fought like a tribal warrior. Like, this
Mm.
is yeah,
right.
In a different time period
yeah,
or a time period that was
Yeah,
ambiguous. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
and compared
and that's
to
just one of
sorry,
I was just going to say that's just one of the brilliance of the Predator like franchise, is that you can have it set anytime,
yeah,
Mhm.
anywhere, anytime. So
yeah.
it works out
People
that way.
actually, yeah, people actually get more excited, I think, when you have the predator going back in time
hmm
Yes.
more than the future.
Yes.
As much as we love the future being in Predator 2,
Yeah.
it's now that's
the
massively
the
outdated.
Mhm.
the
The
far
future, 19
future of
yeah,
1997.
The far-flung
1997.
future,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But, people always talk about, Roman soldiers, samurai, always putting predators back in some sort of time period. So, it's something that, people love doing. I love the cosmic stuff, like, as well. I really love to see more cosmic fleshing out of
Yeah.
Predator. But having said that,
Mhm.
Justin, we spoke about it, like we touched upon it before. Bad Blood, that was more present time,
Oh,
but that's
yes.
awesome, full on
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, we've got to cover that at some point too. Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
that's a must. That's a
That is
must.
a
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
What do you
yeah.
And
call them?
also like,
Sorry, Russell.
was it? Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
speaking of like what people want in their Predator movies, the next story from Dark Horse Comics 4 through 7 looks like a feudal Japan story, which is
Oh,
really
okay.
what
Yeah.
people have been
Oh,
clamoring
yes,
for.
Blood Feud.
Blood
Wow, yeah.
Feud.
So they're really tapping into it like now around that early 90s, because again, remember this got acquired by Dark Horse, I mean, not that long
Yeah,
before Predator 2. So it came after, it was in between Predator and Predator 2. So it's not that long. Like
yeah, yeah.
they haven't done that many things. So yeah, starting to tap
Mhm.
into that. That's great. We should definitely do that. I mean, we
Yeah,
will
that's
do it.
exciting.
It'd be good.
Yeah. I haven't that's
Yeah.
another one I haven't read is the Blood Feud.
Mm. Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be good. I
Right.
love
I
also
haven't
as
read that either.
yeah. I mean, veering just a little bit away from the blood feud thing, just and on this Rite of Passage, I love how like animals are always involved.
Mm,
Like
mhm.
again we see it through Prey, and we saw it in Wolverine and Predator. Was a Predator riding an orca whale,
The orca whale, yeah.
and
And the part with the bear and
with
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
bear.
Yeah.
I just love how it's kind of like it's a whole hunter. It's pretty obvious, but the whole hunter thing and how
yes.
we hunt animals. I just love how that's
Yeah.
always brought in. I love that theme. So yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, because
that was
that's
another
what the
a
thing.
fun
warrior was really doing for his rite of passage was he was
Yeah,
being a hunter, he was hunting this lion.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
and it's
Well,
almost as you
that,
have.
that's
Sorry.
go ahead, Ray. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh, sorry. It's just like, how can you be mad at the predator when you kind of do it yourself? You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
if
right.
you're hunting these innocent animals, I love it how it's like, well, the predator's just doing the same thing, right? You can't see it as
Yeah,
totally evil because you're calling the kettle black. Yeah. So
right.
yeah,
Right. They're doing the same thing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Sorry, Russell.
Yeah. But I meant to make this. I meant to make this point when I was doing my thoughts. But I love that the lion that the warrior tracks down is a lioness. It's a female lion,
Right.
Oh,
and I mean that's accurate because they're the hunters of
Mhm.
good point.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
they do the hunting. So I thought that was a nice touch where it could have very easily been like, the big lion with the mane and
Mm,
but
Yeah, the
no. It,
stereotypical, yeah, Craven the hunter
yeah,
fight. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's a nice detail,
I
actually, you
thought
picked up on Russell. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good catch, Russell.
yeah. Shows that, what was the writer's name? He did something in this.
Yeah, Ian
Oh,
Edgington. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He did his
he did do a
homework.
lot, yeah. He doesn't have to
Ian.
write, like, I'm su he wrote the script, no dialogue needed, but yeah, great detail. Yeah, great detail.
Yeah.
That was good. Anything else, I guess? I don't know, like, there's not much to it, readers and listeners and viewers,
Yeah, that's pretty much
yeah,
it, but
We got to give
I
our
definitely
skull
recommend
ratings.
it.
Got to give our
Oh,
yeah.
skull
yes, let's
ratings.
give it our skull rating, shall we? Out of 5.
Yeah.
Well, this is a tough one. Hmm.
I'm
Sorry,
going to
Russell?
give this. I'm going to give this 3 out of 5 skulls.
Nice.
Good,
Yeah.
yep.
I thought the art was the art was good. I love that it's silent. I love the setting, but again, like it's not wholly original. Although at the time, maybe it
Mm,
was.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, the ending is basically the Predator 2 ending, and we've seen the Predator 2 ending so
yeah.
many times now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought the lack of dialogue while being a positive thing, I thought it also kind of made it a little confusing at times, like what was happening. But that's why you reread it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of
Nice.
5. Okay, pretty decent. How about
Yeah,
yourself, Justin?
I think I'd give this a little bit higher. I think I'd give it 4.5 out of 5
Oh,
skulls.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost perfect to me. I love the fact that it doesn't have any dialogue. I love the artwork, obviously. I love the use of color. I love the pacing of the story. I guess my only complaint was that it was so short. I would have liked a little
Mhm.
bit more to it, a few more pages of
Yep.
something. I don't know exactly what, but yeah, I love this story. This was such a treat to read this
Yeah.
after 30 years. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, what
Yeah,
about you, Ray? What would you give it?
yeah, look, I really did enjoy it as well. I probably would lean more towards Russell's. I'd say about
Mm,
3 out of
mhm.
5 as well.
Nice.
I think, like, and I think what you're saying as well, Justin, about how you wanted more kind of highlights, uh, one of the limitations of having a silent comic. And there are a
Yeah.
lot of pros of having a silent comic as well. There's a lot more freedom in it, but I find it's also constricting in actually, uh, um, kind of detailing and developing
Mhm.
more in the story. This
Yeah.
story was very much that there was a one concept, which was
Yeah.
a tribal warrior up against a predator. So it was kind of simple there in that sense.
Right.
I think similar to you, Justin, if it was longer, it would have invested me a lot more as well because
Mhm.
there'd be a bit more to it visually, and you can kind of fill in the blanks yourself as you like watch it. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I think it was quite a solid outing, and considering it contextually as well, or chronologically where it sits,
Mm.
it was a very cool idea, and
Mhm.
a silent issue as well is very hard to I think to pull off, and I think as you said, the pacing, and the artwork, the fluidity of it really worked well. So.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's got full marks for that. But yeah, I'd
Nice.
like to see a little bit more. I'd
Mhm.
actually venture, Justin, and say I'd like to go beyond 22 or whatever, 26 pages. I'd like to
Mm.
if this was like a good
Do
double, like 48 pages or something,
Oh, man,
ev
yeah.
even if it was silent, I think it'd be great because that would be able to lay a lot more groundwork as to
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on, and you can develop characters without them having to speak. You
Develop
just need a bit
characters.
more canvas. Yeah.
You could kind of see you could just see more about what time period this is set in, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
kind of makes it a little bit more, I don't know, for want of a better word,
Mhm.
a little bit more epic, because
Right.
you can see
Right.
more of stuff and you can introduce more characters.
Yeah.
But again, what it has done for 15 pages is pretty good. So
Yeah. That's impressive.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So there you go, listeners, viewers, watchers, thinkers. Yeah, an
Yeah.
average score of about 3.4, something like that. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
pretty
something like
decent.
that.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
For a
Not bad.
16-page story, I think it's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very good. It all gears us up, getting ready for Predator versus Black Panther coming up.
Yes.
Looking forward to this, guys.
Me
Um,
too.
but yeah, this is good. This was a good pick, Justin. I'm
Oh, thank
so
you.
glad you
Yeah,
picked it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fun to go
um,
back to this Dark Horse omnibus.
yeah,
I hope that
yeah.
yeah, especially after, reading about this blood feud, I'm excited to check this
Ah,
out
I think I
and
might have a
keep on
little
going.
wee little look
Yeah.
already before we review it. Just gonna read that.
Yeah.
That's
I think I will too, yeah.
We've got
Little
we've
sneak
got
preview. Yeah.
blood feuds, bad bloods. We're just
yeah.
The
Oh,
streets are
man.
running red with blood.
Harrigan!
well.
Yes.
Tentatively, our next episode will in fact be Black Panther versus, or I'm sorry, Predator versus Black Panther. I
Mm,
will not get used to saying Predator
no.
first in the
I know,
versus.
it's
Nah, it's a bit
tricky.
weird.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
that's
But
catching me up too. Yeah.
um, but yeah, very exciting, and also hopefully on the next episode we can give our thoughts on Alien Romulus.
Oh,
yes,
yes,
that's
of
true.
course.
That will have come out in the meantime, won't it?
When's that coming out for you
Mhm.
guys? It's 16th here for us, I think.
I think it's the same
I think
here.
it's
Is it?
right
Okay.
around there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Oh man,
That looks good. Oh
yeah,
gosh. That's the only that I mean, Deadpool Wolverine was one I was looking forward to. That's the other one, the other big one I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I guess before we go, sorry, just a little reminder for everyone.
Oh yes,
If
all
you
of our
can read
links
Yauchend,
for those who
Great
although
can.
Pod.
if you use that email, you will not get a
Oh,
response because I had to delete that email. Um,
excellent. Well,
Oh,
that's how we treat them all, don't it? Don't we? No. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll have to change that one. No worries. So disregard that. I mean, who uses
Every-
email these days? Come on.
well, yeah. Everything else is up to date.
Everything
whoever
else is up.
tried to hack into my Microsoft account uses that email, I guess.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
All right. All
Um,
right.
but yeah, you can find us even on. It's not mentioned there as well. Blue Sky and I think Discord as well. We're still
Discord,
going
yes.
great guns there. Go check him out. Big shout out to Mike. He does a lot of does a lot of posts there, and as well, of course, Sparky, keeping the
Sparky,
lights on
yes.
over there. So
Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
Well,
yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry.
I guess until next time.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Shit
Shit happens.
See you later.
See you, everyone.